Brad Meldau Trio, Got Me Wrong, Alice in Chains cover. Pretty hip tune. Welcome to the live stream. Tuesday evening, the Ides of March. Interesting. Let's pop over to YouTube. See what's happening. So really, I wanted to... I just wanted to watch this video by the masked investor. This is what I wanted to see. And I thought, you know, I'll just go on live stream and do it because...
What is going on, guys? My name is TMI. I am the
maybe
masked
other
investor.
people would want to see it.
Very much for tuning in right now. No matter what time it is, no matter where you guys are, I do appreciate you guys. Now, let's get into this stock right now. AMC and GME are doing the damn thing right now. I am very happy with what I'm seeing right now in the charts. But as many people start talking about, the apes are back. As many people start saying, the apes are back. The apes never left, baby. We didn't go anywhere. If you're an OG, you've been here for a while, you know what to do, guys. Drop some diamonds, some gorillas in the comment section below. Let people know we've been here. We did not go any damn where. Now, I do want to cover today what happened with AMC. I do want to cover today what's going on with HYMC and the investment, the literal gold mine that AMC has invested into. Good news, bad news, it doesn't really matter. AMC goes down, not today. We know the joke. No matter what happens, AMC, the stock goes down. Not today, baby. We had good news and the stock went up. I don't want to hear it. All right. So before we get into this information, education, if not simply just entertainment and not financial advice,
it literally takes
smash the like button, engage the company, with the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. First the intro, then the info. Let's get it.
It literally takes the company investing in a gold mine for this stock to not go down. You know, I don't know. You can't make this stuff up. You know, Astro was right about that. You can't make this shit up.
All right, guys, so let's get into this. There's a lot of things for us to cover. So if you guys have not yet, of course, engage with the video. Let's help to get the word out, and now let's get into this information. AMC is playing on offense again with a bold diversification move. This is coming from the CEO at 7 a.m. this morning. We just purchased 22% of Wyckoff, or Hycroft mining, my apologies. NASDAQ.
Wyckoff. He said Wyckoff. Oh, these guys have been obsessing over Wyckoff theory so much. He's like, yeah, AMC this morning bought 33% of Wyckoff to 22% of Wyckoff mining. God.
Playing on offense again with a bold diversification move. This is coming from the CEO at 7 a.m. this morning. We just purchased 22% of Wyckoff, or Hycroft mining, my apologies, NASDAQ HYMC of Northern Nevada. It has 50 million ounces of gold resources and 600 million ounces of silver resources. Our expertise to help them bolster
large
their liquidity.
Numbers.
Now, it's very interesting that he said liquidity because apparently they're having the same kind of issues that AMC has been having. This was also referenced in a Yahoo article.
So it's like Blockbuster and Circuit City, the proposed partnership between Blockbuster and Circuit City when they were both still in business, and they didn't end up partnering, and they both went out of business. So AMC and Wyckoff mining, that's what I'm calling it now, always, Wyckoff mining. They are doing the partnership thing. Hopefully it turns out better. But I mean, he's saying that Wyckoff mining has liquidity problems, and now that AMC is doing so well, they had those problems before, but they figured it out. Now they figured it out, so you know they can lend a hand. How odd! How freaking weird!
A little bit that Adam Aaron did refer to HYMC as a very similar company.
By the way, I would like to hear an actual rational argument or reason for this. I know I'm not going to get it on this video, but if anybody's aware of anything like that I'm missing or that any of these guys are missing other than the face value stuff, hyping the Wyckoff, please let me know because I'm searching for it.
In similar spots where AMC was last year, right? So very interesting stuff here. Now, there was also another update that came from Adam Aaron. I'm going to dig more into HYMC in a second.
And you know, what's funny about that? What's funny about that, what he just said, is that if you look at Wyckoff last year, I have to like remember what it actually is. HYMC. Yeah. If you look at it last year, like it was. Let me get this off here. So here's 2020. 2020. Here's 2021. And here's 2022. So, and maybe it would help to put it in weekly candles now. A little bit more condensed. Compared to AMC, just for fun. So it's like the inverse relationship or something. Like in 2020, Wyckoff was killing it. Stock was like actually above $2. Then 2021. So what happened there? This is the COVID crash right here. March 2020. So what happened here? And then as the market was recovering throughout this period and into 2021 and then hitting its peak in November, that's when Wyckoff like hit the bottom of the barrel. So what the fuck? We were talking about a, $1.50 stock, but I mean still it's odd. So yeah, it's just interesting. He started his live stream this morning and had no clue as to what was going on. Someone asked in the stream and he said he hadn't heard nothing about it. I mean, I learned about it in our finance chat, and I was confused. And I thought, no shit, I thought it was a crypto mining outfit. I thought it was crypto mining. I'm like, oh, so they are getting into crypto. Like, they are, no, it's actual, like, leave it to Adam Aaron, the silverback, to go all high tech on these guys. No one has asked why the hell AA would invest in a mine that has nothing to do with movies instead of paying off debt. I got you. I mean, why would they ask? Don't ask questions. Just accept the bullish catalysts as they come every day. Oh, man, so odd. All right, well, maybe now, because this video came out just not that long ago, maybe now he has figured it out, or maybe somebody asked him or something.
Did go out as well to CNBC. I want to apologize to Jim and David, two extraordinary journalists, for canceling my CNBC interview with them today at the last minute. I am excited about our investment in HYMC, but there has been so much volume in the stock today. Lawyers insisted I stay off air. Now, two things here. One, I think that was a very intelligent move. Stay away from any legal issues. We do not want the CEO of AMC in any legal problems whatsoever. I think personally, as somebody who's invested in the company, who wants to see this thing just squeezed to the freaking moon, I don't want you tied up.
Contradictions in his statement right there alone. Somebody who's invested in this company who wants to see it squeezed to the moon. Like, anyway. And how do we know? How do we know that he's invested in this company, too, by the way? Has he ever shown his positions? Has he shown his positions in the last 6 months? I don't know. But we just have to trust him. So, trust me, bro. I have bought this stock. I support the company. I want it to short squeeze. I support AMC. Yes. I want it to squeeze. That's not really supporting the company, bro. That's not really supporting the company. You are a walking, well, You are a masked contradiction. That's what you are. You are a masked contradiction, which, in a sense, the mask is a whatever.
Anything. Second thing.
No, he's not, and he's not a lawyer. He's Tiger Woods. he's Tiger Woods with the Nike endorsement here. Nike endorsement.
Second thing. Don't apologize to these idiots, okay? You don't apologize. You make them money, okay? You bring them ratings. You bring them us to watch the interview, okay? So don't get twisted. They need you just as much as you need them. So you don't gotta apologize for shit. But I understand it's a PR thing. I get it. I'm just putting my own 2 cents in there. I lied to you guys, not two. The third thing is this. When it came down to the overall share offering announcement that came out today from HYMC, which I'm not going to cover right now, but I just want to speak about it a little bit. I don't want to dive too much into the details of it.
Okay.
I don't have all the information at this time. That's why.
There we go.
I didn't like the fact that the information came straight from Adam Aaron saying that, hey, look, we're going to dive into this company, or we've dove into this company, we've jumped into this company, whatever you guys want to say. And then the news came out soon afterwards about a potential share dilution, right? Now, to me, it just doesn't quite sit right. You're aware that retail investors are...
Here we go about the share dilution. Bad back, called it, and he's right. So it doesn't sit right with him.
Right. Now, to me, it just doesn't quite sit right. You're aware that retail investors are coming into the stock, right? So I don't like that, but I don't think that Adam Aaron knew that was going to happen, because I think what really
Adam
happened
Aaron
was he was going to go on to speak about HYMC. I don't know this, but this is just what I'm putting together. But after he realized the news about the share,
so I don't know this, but I'm going to speculate on it, and put it out as if it were true. Yeah, you think Adam Aaron didn't know? I mean, come on. How naive are you? Seriously. And, well, there's another, there's another part of it, too, that I'm wondering if he's going to mention. But we'll get there.
Offering, he decided not to, or the legal team told him this is
another connection that came back from last year. Another connection, another piece of this puzzle that I figured out, that I just read when I was doing a little bit of research after work today. But we'll see if he does.
Not a good idea. I don't think that the two were coordinated, or I don't think the two were as well communicated as we perceive, right? I think that because of the share offering happening, and it came out at like 9:28, that's when the announcement came out online. That's when a decision was made for him not to go. They probably told him, hey, just a quick heads up, we're going to also do a share offering. And then he probably told his legal team, hey, they're going to do a share offering. His legal team's like, you keep your ass here, right? So I don't know this, guys. This is just me putting two things together here. I think that they were somewhat linked. And I think that this was definitely a good thing for him to just stay out of, the light for the most part on broadcast today. Now, let's get into HYMC, a little more into the details. And then, of course, we'll get into AMC to cover up what's going on with our stock ticker and what's coming up next. Getting into the article that came out on Yahoo, it does reference the tweet that we just finished seeing as well. AMC Theaters is getting into the gold mining business. The theater chain announced it bought a stake of Wyckoff Mining, a precious metal company.
Wyckoff
and it
Mining.
references Adam Aaron's tweet, yada, yada, yada. Let's take a look at this. In addition, AMC, this is a quote, AMC will receive an additional 23.4 million warrants in Hycroft at $1.07 per share, said the statement. The move surprised investors given the differences in business. Now, this just means that because it's not like a different theatrical company of some sorts, it's just such a, it's just...
but it is theatrical, though. This whole thing is so theatrical. It is.
A completely different sector. It kind of surprised people, and it did. But nonetheless, guys, it is a pretty intelligent sector to be looking into when it comes down to where the economy is, inflation, and the fact that we were valuing cash so
you can talk faster
prior to this whole, inflation update that we've been getting from the Fed. Just like, hey, look, this is how bad things are effed up. Oh, shoot, really? Cash is trash? Okay, cool. Let's invest it in some company who needs it, and we have to get it off our books. It's one of those things. Anyways, our strategic investment being announced.
If that's the case, then why did they wait until literally the day before the Fed is going to be raising interest rates to do it? Like, that makes no sense. I hate when these guys talk about macroeconomics. I really do. Because it's just such garbage.
Day is a result of our having identified a company in an unrelated industry that appears to be just like AMC of a year ago. It too has rock solid assets, but for a variety of reasons, it has been facing a severe and immediate liquidity issue. Its share price has been knocked low as a result. We are confident that our involvement can greatly help it surmount its challenges to its benefit and to ours, said Adam Aaron. So one of the things I'm looking at here right now is that,
yeah, of course. It too has rock solid assets. What rock solid assets does AMC have, by the way? A handful of properties. The rest are leased. I don't know. Like, what are you? What in the? God. Okay. That was Adam Aaron speaking.
This, right? AMC has to figure out how to kind of, pay off their debts, which means they have to basically create cash. They have to really look at how to make some money here. To me,
they should buy puts on their own stock.
If you could potentially inject $22.7 million into a company that is a tenth of the price that it probably
they should
could
short
be
their own stock.
Up and pumping at its peak, that is a great investment. Turning $22 to $200 million would be an amazing return of investment for AMC, and that is something that I would want from our company, right? That right there is
so AMC is going to get rich quick too. Awesome.
If it can continue to do things like this and make plays like this, then this is a company that can definitely
here's the hard
turn this
sell
around. Now, it may not be exactly what I want to see them do with their money, but it's not.
Yeah, what about the debt, number one? Number two, what about, let's just play fantasy for a second and say that there were a massive short squeeze on this stock. The share price is going to collapse. So, and all of these apes are going to be long gone. They're going to be driving their Lambos down to the gold mine that they own, or that, well, I guess they wouldn't own it anymore. But I don't know. Just doesn't make sense. Anyway.
A negative thing when it comes down to their fundamental value. And people always get pissed off when I say fundamental value. But at the end of the day, guys, if the fundamental value is sound and the short thesis is dead from a fundamental perspective, there's only the short squeeze that's next to come. Like, there's no other discussion. If the fundamentals are there and the shorts are there, and
God, like, imagine being that simple-minded that you would, like, first of all, that he would say that. Secondly, that people would believe this. People would believe this. Come on, man. Like, oh, yeah, every stock that has, short interest, and they all do. If the short thesis, which I would dispute that. I would dispute that part of it. And I think a lot of people would. Obviously, short sellers are. And newsflash, they've made a lot of money. Somebody else made a lot of money too last year. We're going to talk about that as well in a little bit. But we'll get there.
Hard plays. Then the short squeeze takes over. All right, guys, let's keep this going. So that's where we are right now. Overall, the company itself was not necessarily doing too great. Let's take a look at the charts, right? I'm going to scroll out here with HYMC, not just today. I'm going to go to the daily chart and kind of scroll back here. So when it goes back to the 2020 level for HYMC was roughly in around that $13 to $8 range. It's a huge range there.
Where
that's
AMC
the range
is now.
Then it started having these huge drop-offs. You saw this huge drop-off over here in around October 2020.
What happened?
And then
why? I want to know why.
Right around the earnings that came down from basically $7 down to
obviously the earnings sucked.
Those days right there, right? So it seems like after earnings, it seems to be having continuous red days. Earnings drop off. Two green updates. That's great. Earnings, huge drop off again, and now they have earnings coming up again. Now, recently, because they had to close down mining for a little while, I don't expect there to be great earnings coming up for HYMC, but I do expect there to be great outlook. Now, we do know how outlook can be very impactful in regards to the share price the following morning with stocks. We have seen the outlook basically, crater different stocks because of supply chain issues in the tech sector, even after having amazing Q4 earnings. So I would imagine that a positive outlook for the future of HYMC could have at least a neutral effect, if not a positive one, for a company that potentially does not have great fundamentals going into this earnings. But I do think that with the injection of liquidity that AMC has brought to HYMC, we could see them return to levels in around this.
That's a good use of money.
Potentially $8 range. Now, why would I be saying that? Why am I just pulling these random numbers out here? Because these issues, in my opinion, were all coming after the pandemic started, after the stock started getting beat down, after they started having liquidity issues. These aren't necessarily things
when the rest of the market was
these are things that they did
surging
not
higher
see overcoming until we came and
when he said when the Fed injected stimulus into the economy, this wonderful stock, Wyckoff, as he said, did that. And in between the big, October 2020 and April, there isn't even an earnings here. So what happened there? April 2021. And then, November, when the market was at all-time highs, it took another dive. So, yeah. I don't know.
Along with others, right? So AMC is now invested 20% of this company. The company is up 15% today at this point in time. I do think that this company has the opportunity to potentially increase a few times over the current value, but when that time comes,
17%, aka a quarter.
I personally will not be investing in HYMC. It's not my style. But, you know, never say never. All right, guys. Now, with AMC specifically, ticker symbol AMC,
dumb.
we did have ourselves a very bullish day today, at least so far. From what I can see right now, we are crossing over on the 5 minute, that 200 EMA, and we are
all he says.
Here from that 1348 signal.
Now he's talking about 1348 because they're geniuses, trading geniuses now. They're all trading prodigies because they know a moving average cross strategy. Anyway. Boy, that left a lot to be desired. Okay, so let me go to FinViz. If I can spell it right. FinViz, HYMC. So TMI has no money. He has no money. Adam Aaron has no money. No, nobody has any money. I don't have any money. I mean, just kidding. Okay. So here we are in FinViz. And so target price $13. Short float 0.5%. I thought somebody told me, I thought that this was a high short interest play too. TMI has no money to invest. Isn't he making, he's not making any money on YouTube? Should be. So as a reminder, AMC is like close to 20%. I mean, how could anybody forget that? You have the Ortex guy reminding you of that 3 times a day over here on Reddit. Short interest approaching 21. Short interest holding at 21. AA just exposed the Wall Street bullshit even more by buying HYMC, a company with 59 million shares float, trades at 309 million volume. Means the float was traded approximately 5 times today. So, here you go. The Wall Street bullshit. How is that Wall Street bullshit? Like, this is a fundamental point of ignorance among the apes. Fundamental. So you can't trade more than the float in one day. That's illegal, apparently. You can't do it. You can't trade more than the float in one day. It's impossible. Who is that? Anybody guess? Who is that supposed to be? Yes, you can. All it means is that there was a high demand. A lot of demand for the stock. People were buying and selling. A lot of buyers, a lot of sellers. That's all it means. But, you know, in this fucked up fantasy world, it's everything is a sign of corruption. Everything is a symptom of, you know, a completely corrupt and fraudulent system. Anyway, where's the freaking Ortex guy? AA knows that HYMC will squeeze during MOAS. AMC can't directly profit much from AMC stock during MOAS, and to stay safe from being accused of market manipulation, AMC will sell HYMC during MOAS and use the money to pay off AMC's debt? Well, that's a question? That's a motherfucking question. Jason, 1982. Come on. Like, listen, that is just... Yeah, that's it, Jason. You got it. You figured it out. You probably also figured out the algo that they're using. That they are using, right? Don't lie now. You figured out the algo. Share it with us, Jason. Here's the answer why. Oh, that's our. We already know. We already know that they're trying to save the company. They are the apes of HYMC. Like the apes saved AMC. So AMC are the apes. AMC itself is the apes, are the apes. It is the ape that saves Wyckoff Mining. Think about that. That's meta as fuck. So the apes will have saved two companies, one by proxy. Vortex guy here with the closing bell update. Here it is. God, I love Reddit. It's just so much fun. Oops, oh, wrong one. But still 100% utilization. Even though there was a 4% change in shares on loan. I mean, that right there. Somebody explain that to me, please. Somebody can anybody explain how it is possible for the number of shares on loan to change? That number is directly related to utilization. How in the fuck can this number go up by 4% and utilization is at 100%? I would like to know. And why hasn't anybody questioned that? Why haven't they been questioned on that? That is ridiculous. Unless I'm missing something, but 100%. That would seem to mean, usually that means all of something. But, oh, yep, same old shit as always. Slightly more slightly more borrowed shares than returned shares. So this would be Friday on the chart, probably. I don't even remember what happened on Friday. I don't even know. I would venture to say that probably a lot of people in this live stream probably don't know or don't remember. So, was that the 11th? Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. It was Friday. It was a Friday. Duh. Of course it did. Of course it did that. Yeah. So, what about this? I wonder if anybody's made this connection yet. AMC bought 22% of Wyckoff Mining, right? Short interest on AMC, almost to 21, which is almost to 22. Hey, yeah, huh? I mean, I think I could do this ape influencer thing. That's more entertaining than anything that TMI said. Come on. We know it is. What about Lou? I don't normally go to Lou. But it might be fun to see what he's saying about it. You think he's probably going to say this? What's up, Transmephidites? And okay, popcorn. I keep telling you guys, popcorn. I don't know. I have no idea.
What's going on, my silly little gold-loving motherfuckers? All right, so here comes the other side of the story. Look, motherfuckers, this morning I'm recovering from a fucking headache. Ice giving me a phone call talking about that popcorn went big on a gold mine. I'm like, huh? Why? What the fuck? Anyway, so while it's doing the run-up, start doing the digging and everything, and I start finding a lot of crazy shit on it.
Okay, is he gonna find the connection that I promised I would reveal? Well, it's not really revealing, but it's just I haven't seen it mentioned yet by the apes. What, we'll see.
And I'm like, and I posted up on Twitter and stuff like that. Then I started seeing a lot of the influencers. I bought in. This is great, and all the fucking momos. Apes gonna go gold. Look, motherfuckers, you got mauled. I fucking said it in yesterday's video. They're gonna offer you shiny new fucking stocks for you to jump in. And look at this fucking thing. Did people sell off AMC to jump into that fucking disaster of a fucking gold mine? Here's the deal.
Yep, 2222. That's it.
I'm just explaining what is. Look, if you're gonna look at a fucking stock like that, especially with who, at the end of the day, who owns it? It's a gold mine. Who's processing their gold? Who's doing their transportation? I mean, who's putting it to market? How long have they been there? The fucking mine was only opened up again in 2019. I was looking at all this and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So the movies in a gold mine was no gold mine today.
They're gonna no gold mine today. They're gonna mine NFTs there. That's my guess.
If you didn't get out, they mauled your ass. And since the institutes own 80-something% of it, don't think that apes can unite.
Mauled as in, like, MALLED. Like, they went the way of the mall. Like, they died.
Right together.
That's what I got out of that.
Forget about that ape bullshit. Because they got some apes bent over and they're doing the smollett to them motherfuckers. Look, I know I'm trying to be smooth on this. I fucking warned you motherfuckers. Shit like this is what's going to be coming. But that's my take on the AMC into the golden. Like I said, I don't give a fuck about AMC. I'm just here to make my money on my play and get the fuck out. But I analyzed this.
That's some honesty. That's some honesty. And, you know, I respect that. I actually do respect that. He's not pretending that he cares about the company like TMI does. I'm just here to make some fucking money. I don't give a fuck what I trade. I don't care. If I can make money on it, great. I like it for that. You know? Like, that's the way, in my opinion, as a trader. It should be. Personally. But that's just me.
Why the fuck would I want to chase? Look at the cast of characters. I mean, whatever. Listen, that's the nefarious shit that is out there. Now, I'm not going to talk about the AMC, what's going on the second. I'm going to get to all that. But I want to tell you something. All those bots and influencers, buy the dip. We're going to do it. We're going to take it to the moon. I warned you motherfuckers yesterday about beware of shiny new stocks. That's the way they do it. Oh my God, I'm going to make everything up. And what happened? I've never seen a mauling like that. Like I was telling Ice, like this is like Enron shit, but even that had halts going down. It wasn't stopped. Motherfuckers saw their souls disappear in that stock. That's fucked up. I'm not suicidal. I'm just in gold. Let me tell you something. I would listen, if I was playing gold, I wouldn't fuck with that. I mean, I would hit a couple of ETFs on it, whatever, for some money when the craziness starts. Metals.
A few days late on gold, though.
Mine, you know nothing about the productivity, how much they produce in the last year. Like, I mean, how do they compare against the others? I mean, lawsuits, EPA type regulations on it. I mean, like, what the fuck? Have you people fucking gotten emotional damage? How the fuck do people jump into shit like that? I mean, whatever. Just understand something. That type of mauling is not natural. That type of setup. Okay, let me put it this way. That could probably be a separate video. So let me just, let me cut it in this. That whole play, there's something nefarious in it. Something nefarious.
Oh, maybe I was wrong.
I'll talk about how that is because it's about the social influencers, and I'll talk about that. But trust me on this. This motherfucker has dark side written all over it. So if you got in, I hope you got out. And if you're in there, you know, hey, that's some unholy shit. That has no explanation. That defies logic. But you're gonna follow apes into another crazy play? Not me. So, giant love motherfuckers, there's your AMC gold investment. Like, not for nothing, you get better odds betting on fucking whether Smollett's gonna make it out in 150 days. I mean, like, for real, like, call bookie in Vegas. Next time you're gonna do some stupid shit like that.
That's why I want my binary option exchange. We will bet on shit like that, you know? I'm still looking for that software. I can't find it anywhere. I want to do a binary option exchange. And we'll make it with crypto or some shit so we can get around regulations. So I don't have to get licensed by the CFTC. Okay, so he didn't talk about the connection either. So I have to go find it again. So let's see, which one was it? Because I looked at it on this other computer. That one. Oh. Bloomberg. AMC's gold miner investment makes perfect sense to the investing faithful. The investing faithful. In other words, the uninformed investors. I think it was Investors Business Daily, maybe. Meme stock puts its windfall to use on a struggling gold mine. How about that headline? That is a good one. Quid pro quo, yes. The way I described it was, and sorry, I had a train nearby here. So you might hear the train whistle. I don't know if it's coming through or not, but I jerk you off, you jerk me off. That's AMC and Wyckoff mining. And the Apes, well, they just get blue balls, but you know, who's counting? Putting its beam stock fortune to use. 22%, the magic number, 22%. Telling you, 22%. That's the key. Even though, well, yeah. Severe liquidity challenge. Okay, here it is. Wyckoff Mining was bought in 2020 and then taken public by Mudrick Capital Acquisition Corp., a special purpose acquisition company, or SPAC. Hedge fund Mudrick Capital owns around 40% of the mining company, according to FactSet. In June, AMC said it had raised $230 million from a sale of AMC stock to Mudrick Capital Management. The fund sold the stock quickly after. So put that in green. Put this in red. I like colors. Okay. Yeah, so Mudrick. Muds. Good old Muds. Ticker symbol MUDS. So there's the quid pro quo that Bad Back was referring to. Wyckoff was bought in 2020 and taken public by Mudrick. Where's that chart? Oops. Okay. Now, what is all this here? Oh, that's what is all that there then? Before it was taken public? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, just roll with it. Mudrick Capital owns 40% of the mining company. So Mudrick owns 40%. AMC now owns 22%. 40.4%. 22%. In June, AMC raised $230 million from that sale of stock to Mudrick, and then they turned around and sold it to Apes right after. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else caught that, but it's like, you know, 2/3 of the way, it's like 3/4 of the way through this article. So I'm going to say probably not, because they don't read past the headlines in the first paragraph really ever. So, you know, just, they don't. The Wyckoff mine started mining operations in 2019 after the company that ran it emerged from bankruptcy protection in 2015 in the wake of falling gold and silver prices. In November, the mine halted some pre-commercial mining at its run-of-mine operation. Wyckoff Mining cited costs for some chemicals and other materials and a timeline for finishing technical studies. Costs for some chemicals, i.e. inflation, and other materials. Costs. In a filing in November, they said that its financial statements, quote, raise substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern. The company said that without additional capital, it might not be able to meet obligations. Wyckoff had a net loss of $41.3 million for the 9 months ending on September 30th, according to a filing from November, and yada, yada, yada. Accumulated deficit of $526 million. $562 million. So let's see what we got here. AMC should have invested in a fertilizer company because they are full of shit. And something stinks. With that, sale of stock was done off the table, not through open market. So Mudrick didn't pay going rate. They got a discount and then sold those shares immediately on the lit market for profit. AMC stock has fallen from last year's high of 72.62. Shares were below both their 50-day and 200-day lines. Okay. So Mudrick, that's the connection that I was hinting at there. We'll see. We'll see if any of these other guys mention it. I mean, I don't think they will, even if they read it, because Mudrick was painted as, a villain when it happened. Like, people were buying puts on Mudrick and losing money that way too. It's kind of funny. But so the AMC grifters are painting this as a positive. You heard TMI, or maybe you didn't, but if you didn't, you're lucky. Talking about how great it was and all that stuff, and how they're going to use their expertise from AMC and whatever. How would that play if he also mentioned, and also Mudrick Capital owns 40% of this mining company? How would that play? So it's cherry picking and disingenuous, selective information. Wow. Okay. So again, also, the mining company has a short float of 0.5%. So we see over here on Reddit that people are saying, I'm hearing, some have said, AA knows that HYMC will squeeze during MOAS. AMC can't directly profit much from AMC's stock during MOAS. And to stay safe from being accused of market manipulation, AMC will sell HYMC during MOAS and use the money to pay off AMC's debt. Tried to read that as all as a question, but it's hard to do. And look at all those. It got awards. That got awards. I have to look at that. And they don't care to talk about the truth. They do not care to talk about the truth. That's the truth. Question. Knowing nothing about how such things work, I completely agree. Good stuff. There you go. There's your investing faithful right there. Investing faithful. Wow. I love how Bloomberg put that. That's fantastic. I just added HYMC. Going for double short squeeze. Hedgies clearly shorted the fuck out of it today. Clearly they did. Nailed it. This is a play to remove debt and have the short hedge funds pay for it. Finally, somebody that gets it. AA has been saying without saying, AMC is a good business. AMC is a good business, I swear. And because it is a good business, it therefore provides the foundation for short sellers to close their positions. Using the word therefore does not make you sound smarter. Nope. It's literally a play out of Ryan Cohen's playbook. I like it. Is that a compliment? Is that supposed to be a compliment? 80% plus of HYMC is locked up now between Mudrick. Oh, looky there. Our famous AMC paper hander. That other guy and AMC. And they have contracts to buy more at 107. This is wrong. AMC liquidity is tied up in the company for 5 years before they can liquidate their position. It was part of the contract. AA simply saw a good investment opportunity and took it. You think Adam Aaron invests in timeshare properties? You think he has a timeshare? He knows good investment opportunities. Let me tell you about this timeshare I have in Sarasota, Florida. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw somewhere he can't unload his positions now for 5 years. Will this even matter in 5 years? I don't know. I'm buying 1,000 shares. Fuck it. Moon or soup line? Moon or soup line? I've never heard it put that way. That's cute. Double short squeeze. The double short squeeze. The good old double short squeeze play. HYMC isn't heavily shorted. There's not much chance for a squeeze. Only 0.56% of free float as of last month. AA just saw a good investment opportunity. Edit, I found that someone went hard on shorting this today. Plus 20.88% changed today only. Is that true? I don't have Vortex. I don't know. Maybe we can see it on here on Twitter. Search for it. Why is it so slow? Trading update. Vortex generated numerous short squeeze trading signals last week for HYMC. Last week. Reddit was shitting on Vortex this morning? Really? Short interest has increased 20% today to 6 million shares, 23% of free float. Okay, this is from yesterday. Oh, I bet they're really hyping those cost to borrow figures on a $1.50 stock. Why didn't Adam Aaron invest in GameStop? That's a good question. I mean, that would make the most sense because we all know, all of us here know that GameStop is the play. Right? GameStop is the play. That's the one that Keith Gill did the research on. They haven't closed their short positions. We know that they haven't closed them. They just keep hiding them in the futures exchange. They hide them. They're hiding them in the gold futures. That's where they are. They're hiding them in the gold futures, guys. That's it. Oh, You're just a bitter old man about to lose a shit ton of money shorting AMC. This puppy is a squeeze play. AA pucked the hedgies again. Stop shorting every freaking stock in the world, hedgies. Heggies. Stop shorting every stock in the world. Because it's morally wrong and morally and ethically wrong to short every stock in the world. You can't do that. Okay, so this is, well, it's 10 hours ago, but anyway, we'll keep our eye on that tomorrow, I guess, or a couple days from now and see what happens. But short squeeze play. Everything's a goddamn short squeeze. When the stock shoots up, it's a short squeeze. When it goes down, it's naked shorting. You know, that's the dynamic. Those are the dynamics, market dynamics. Ape, stock market dynamics. Oh, also on this title, AA knows that HYMC will squeeze during MOAS. AMC can't directly profit much from AMC's stock during MOAS. Neither can any of the insiders, because they've mostly sold all their stock. So they can't directly profit, and they can't indirectly profit because they've all sold their fucking stock at $12, $15 most recently. So there's that too. But anyway, so I have to hand it to that one ape, whoever it was. They mentioned Mudrick, the paper hander, Mudrick. So I guess somebody does read past below the fold, so to speak. Again, when did AA fuck the hedgies for the first time? Right. When did that happen? I don't know. So that might be a good time to transition to the other big piece of news from today. Right? Get it here because I have to go into a private tab because Bloomberg. Citadel Securities opens up after record $7 billion windfall. Griffin's trading giant benefited from market turmoil in 2021. After facing scrutiny, firm wants to tell own story. Citadel Securities was thrust into the spotlight in 2021 with day traders, lawmakers, and regulators all scrutinizing the firm at the center of one of the U.S. stock market's wildest periods. They're about to learn that amid the uproar, the financial giant had its best year ever. Billionaire Ken Griffin's stock trading powerhouse posted record revenue of $7 billion as frenzied bouts of volatility helped drive up earnings. The figure disclosed by people familiar with the matter who declined to be named discussing private information topped the firm's previous record of $6.7 billion in 2020 when the pandemic upended global markets. And I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's very long. It's a long article, but I'll just kind of skim down through here. Inside Citadel, the hall is reason to celebrate, but it also highlights the problem that senior executives seem acutely aware of. The bigger it gets, the bigger the target on its back. Let's come down here. Ken Griffin, with a net worth topping $30 billion. Ken Grifton. $30 billion. The CEO of Citadel Securities, his name is, I skipped past it, Peng Zhao, young dude, 40, practically my age. That's sad. Peng Zhao, child math prodigy with a PhD in statistics from UC Berkeley. First ever in-person interview with a news organization. adding business in Europe and Asia, and wants to be a major liquidity provider in the exploding cryptocurrency market. Designated market maker handles trades for more than 60% of listed names on the NYSE. Still has 2 booths on the trading floor. In interviews throughout February, Citadel Securities executives didn't dismiss an IPO, though said a listing wasn't on its immediate agenda. Has already signed 250 clients to the institutional equity options business. It launched in 2020. Customer volumes in the group soared 90%. Okay, so here's a chart. So Citadel's black on this. So in 2011, they had 25%. In 2016, they had 36%. And now they're nearly 40%. So the other big one is Virtu. Citadel, Virtu. Much of the meme stock controversy centered around an often attacked practice that allows retail brokers like Robinhood to offer zero commission trading under the payment for order flow model. Citadel Securities and other market makers pay brokers to execute their retail orders, making them key to the rise of trading apps that fueled last year's Reddit-inflamed short squeeze. So they're calling last year a short squeeze. It's interesting. This market setup has drawn critics, including Senator Elizabeth Warren, who said company profits at the expense of customers during periods of extreme market turmoil, much like the swings set off recently by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Gensler alluded to the possibility of banning PFOF, saying it puts investors at an information disadvantage and may not get them the best deal. Griffin has defended the practice, saying it helps democratize finance and that it's actually a, quote, cost to the firm. And it necessarily would be, right, if they're paying the brokers. So Robinhood gets paid from the market maker that takes the trade, executes it. So it is a cost in that sense. Now, obviously, they are making money too, because they made $7 billion in revenue last year. When put to some of the Citadel Securities executives in February, they zoom out from the controversy. They zoom out from some of the controversy's thornier issues. They speak of misconceptions about the firm and echo Griffin's comments on the benefits PFOF affords small-time traders. All of a sudden, we find our name on venues and getting mentioned in places we weren't mentioned before. It's something we weren't planning for, said Zhao. When pressed about the meme stock craze, we are focused on making the best decisions, regardless of whether our name is being mentioned or not. Retail investors get better prices and brokers get better economics because of how the market's set up, said Joe McCain, head of execution services at the firm. Restricting payment for order flow could hurt investors and wouldn't curb the order flow Citadel Securities receives, he said. Quote, there's a big disconnect between what we do, what the message should be about what we do, and what the public perception ends up being, he said. At its offices, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, yeah, that's that. Which we've been saying around here, pretty much since we started doing this, is that Wall Street at large has been cashing in on this whole thing. And so when the AMC influencers said buy the dip and all this stuff and created this emotional frenzy around these handful of stocks, what you're doing, what you did was contribute to this record $7 billion windfall that Citadel's enjoying. And, you know, it wouldn't be really a thing if we knew that retail investors took their profits and you know, were investing or trading with that as the goal, right? What's the point of being in the market? Is to make money. But we know that it's taken on this whole social equality, equality, manipulation, fraud, all these things. You know, prison is the floor, right? That's what they say on Reddit. They don't want to make money. They want to change the market. They want Ken Griffin to go to prison. I mean, how delusional can you be? So we know that they're not, that the focus is not trying to make people better investors, better traders, better market participants. It's not. It is to primarily line their own pockets, the influencers, and by extension, they've contributed to this right here. You know? So interesting. This came out today. So Hawk is curious. Are you here to speak positively about any stocks you are invested in? Look at that. The viewers dropped off. They don't want to hear about Citadel. They don't want to hear about Citadel. So, am I here to speak positively about any stocks you're invested in? And is that, no, I'm not here to do that. Okay? I'm not. I'm here to correct the misinformation. Doesn't matter what stocks I'm invested in. And by the way, I pretty much trade one security. Mostly. And it's not AMC. You know, I mean, I could talk positively about the S&P 500 all day, I guess. Well, no, I couldn't. But, you know, I'm not really interested in single stocks, individual stocks. It's just not something I'm really... Chris is still here. Manuel's still here. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. And home now, so you... Good. You know, I'm more of a trader than an investor. So I like the excitement of trading. I like active trading, active participation in the market, and I trade options. So you want stock tips? I got one for you. I got a stock for you right here. I got a stock for you right here. Wyckoff Mining. No. Here it is. Ready? Oh. Here it is. So exciting. It's so damn exciting. So exciting. So many opportunities every day. Love it. But no, I'm not really big on stock picking. I think most people that do it aren't very good at it. I'm thinking of people like, I don't know, Stock Mo and all those guys on YouTube that have, you know, Patreons and Discords and all that stuff. And they tell you to buy, like, well, Meat Kevin was doing it for a while. So, you know, Tattooed Chef. How's that doing, by the way? Oh. This was one that they talked about a lot last year, up in this $20 range and all that. And even as the market topped, it was already down. Also fundamentally not so great. But yeah, I mean, that's something that they manual on SPY or on Tattooed Chef, the Head and Shoulders. So yeah, I mean, now, okay, so in all transparency, I did trade AMC call options today. I made a little bit of money. Currently have puts on AMC. So that, I suppose, I said I trade one stock and it's not AMC. But, you know, of course there's things that can come up here and there. But and to be honest, the AMC calls, that was literally like a spur of the moment thing last night. I was like, I don't know, just whatever. I'll just go out of the money. And there ended up being a catalyst. How about that? It was literally random, like kind of random. I was just like, yeah, it just feels like something. What the hell, you know? So that's cool. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be interesting. I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen. I kind of figured there'd be a bounce today. I didn't think it would be as much as it was, but there were a lot of things that, you know, oil slipped down. I mean, China got slaughtered yesterday. China markets. So I wasn't expecting quite that much, or I thought there'd be more of a fade at the end. And there was a little bit, but yeah. And strangles, straddles, I do that a lot, you know, as well, or kind of lopsided strangles, depending on if I have kind of a, you know, a sentiment one way or another. A lot of times I don't know, picking the direction of the market, you know, like especially lately, it's so fickle. Any little news item, catalyst, shit happens. You watch the ES futures overnight, and you know it's like, oh, it's down to 410, and then when I get up in the morning, it's like, oh, it's at 422, or vice versa. So, you know, those types of instruments work well for that. But it's interesting because I was looking at the SPY option chain today. I guess we could go over to where is it? Yeah, Thinkorswim. Saudi Arabia. Oh, Hawk. I don't know why I always want to say Hank. It looks like I have bad eyesight. Sold all AMC for HYMC today. Really? That's interesting. So let's see here. Okay, so here's, you know what? I'm not even going to go with tomorrow. I'm going to go with Friday. Oh, before that. So, yeah. 4.7 million contracts traded today on SPY. 3.1 million puts, 1.6 million calls. for a put call ratio of 1.94. Saudi Arabia may start accepting yuan for China oil purchases. Not good for the petrodollar. Weak petrodollar is good for gold. Maybe AA is up to something. Interesting. Interesting. So why is this theoretical price changed here? So they're trading puts mostly. $415, $420, $415, $410, $400. Open interest numbers. $380. On the volume side, $400, $415. Calls. Open interest. 430, 435, 440. Every 5 up to the moon. 445, 460. But I mean, you get it down to these, it's not even worth it. Volume 430, 435, every 5 to the moon. So crude oil's down to 95. It hit a low of 93. I did want to look at silver. Comes back down to earth. Palladium. The other one. What about the wheat ETF? Was what Market Watch? I don't really use Market Watch. Maybe sometimes a news article from there, possibly. But the article, yeah, I don't know what you're referring to, but I was looking at an article from Investors Business Daily. That was the one talking about the mining company that mentioned Mudrick. And then the other one was the one about Citadel was from Bloomberg. So this one here was Bloomberg about Citadel. And then no, didn't use Market Watch for anything, but I do like this website, tradingeconomics.com, for futures, commodities, and world markets. It's easy to see everything all together here. And of course, well, Australia's open, I guess. But here's, yeah, China got, I mean, basically 5% down yesterday, today. Hong Kong, Malaysia, Mongolia, sorry. South Africa. And then you can look at commodities. The calls and puts, oh no, that was Thinkorswim. That's the Thinkorswim platform, TD Ameritrade. Although, to be honest, I'll be honest with you, I do like, for looking at, for the option now, I'll fire it up and show you why, but the Fidelity Active Trader Pro platform, I do like it better for option chains, but I like Thinkorswim better for charting. So it's, I don't like to, generally don't like to have both of them open, because it will kind of slow my system down, but mainly during the day, if I'm, well, when I was trading during the day a lot over the last couple years. But anyway, I don't think that you'll get as you probably, I don't really ever use those types of sites like Market Watch and stuff for options, really. What do we got here? Okay. Because they're not up to date, like they're delayed, or they only update end of day or something like that. So just much better just to use one of these platforms. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so I like to have my option chain set up a certain way, so I can do, and now I can look at it pretty easily. So in Active Trader Pro, you can have it's windowed, whereas Thinkorswim is like, it's all in one window. I mean, you can break things out into windows, but they're kind of like modules within the thing, and you can resize these, and you can have more charts, and you can have these different modules. But Active Trader Pro is more like, these are all windows within a larger window, and you can do it on Thinkorswim, but it's just not that way by default. So these are separate windows that I can resize, and I like to have the calls in one window, puts in the other window. So what I can do then is I can put the calls in order of volume and the puts in order of volume separately. So the strike prices are here on the left. So it's easier to see, okay, what is the highest open interest? 450 on the calls, 400 on the puts. It's a lot faster. You can probably do that on Thinkorswim, but this was just more intuitive for me, I guess. And then also the option statistics. I like being able to have that at a glance, as well as the option chain. You can look at both at the same time, whereas on Thinkorswim you have to scroll down. Again, you can probably open it up in a separate window, but this is just how I do it. So also, it's really easy to pull up charts for these too, which you can do on Thinkorswim as well, but you don't have to switch to the chart page. You can just pull up a chart for this option here, like that. It's nice. So let me close out of this. Probably take a look at a couple more videos here and then call it a night. I can go on for hours. But tend to keep going, and then it's too late, and I'm like, crap, I need to do laundry, or I didn't eat, or whatever. All right. So I think let's go with the data scientist. I like science.
It's turnaround o'clock. Do you know where your attendees are? My name is Andrew. I'm a data scientist here in Silicon Valley. That's Professor Meatball, and I want to talk to you guys about how Adam Aaron just put the war chest to an actual gold mine. Let's talk about that while you guys watch until the end of the video, and
Where of the
slap
gold
that like all
mine?
the way up to 800. Comment out which one you guys are, so
too
we can
easy.
get this video out to people who have not heard the news. This somehow not about butter for popcorn. Also, we have to talk about how the shorts are now putting so much pressure onto the options chain. Take a look at how positive the day has been for AMC right before the GameStop earnings call coming up on St. Patrick's Day. So if you guys are ready to get excited, let's
When's
talk
that?
about what exactly happened and what
I don't know when
is
St.
the
Patrick's Day
Hycroft
is.
deal. Let's talk about what Adam Aaron did.
Wyckoff deal.
When Adam Aaron promised investors on November 2021 earnings call that he was going to take his war chest of equity capital and think differently about our future, it's difficult to fathom they ever imagined he'd.
So, yeah, think differently. So don't buy, properties so you don't have to pay, to rent or lease them. Don't pay off the debt. Buy a mining company. Of course, yeah, makes perfect sense. I mean, as a think different thing. Steve Jobs would be proud.
He'd announced months later that he has spent millions on a literal mine, and not even one that produces diamonds, which would have been having some fun memes, I suppose, but he's literally purchased a gold mine. I mean, come on, guys. The chief of AMC announced Tuesday morning that the movie theater company is buying 22% stake in Hycroft Mining Holding. And wait for it, it's a 71,000-acre gold and silver mine in northern Nevada. Here is Adam Aaron's actual tweet. AMC is playing on a fence again with a bold diversification move. It just purchased 22% of Hycroft Mining of northern Nevada. Has 15 million.
AMC is playing on the fence again. That's what I heard. On offense again. But it seems to me that at least the apes, or some of the, okay, let me rephrase. To everyone but the apes, they are having to play defense. The apes are having to play defense to explain this. That's it. That was my thought. Anyway.
Ounces of gold resources and 600 million ounces of silver resources. Our expertise to help them bolster their liquidity. The news sent shares of Hycroft soaring, putting the stock back over $1 for the first time since late 2021, giving the stock a 94% boost at Tuesday's open, building on what was already newly growing meme stock-like enthusiasm for the mining ticker. But let's step back for a second and wonder aloud as to why would Aaron deploy roughly $28 million of AMC's capital to get it involved with this mining company. What do you guys think? Actually, I'm very curious.
$28 million to buy 22%. I'm telling you, 22 is the number. 22 is the number. 22% short interest, 22% HYMC, which now has a short interest float percentage of 22%. 22 is the magic number. So when Hawk was in AMC, they knew this quote data scientist was an ignorant fool. You made fun of him also? Really? I mean, that's good. I'm proud of you. But he sells like some kind of plugins for TradingView indicators, like cheat code or Lux, or I forget which one is his actually, but I looked at it, and it looked like it was one of those things that tells you when to buy and sell, which I guess is fitting for a data scientist to have something like that. But yeah, if I had all my old content, you would see that I have been criticizing and fact checking this guy for months previously. But most recently, what I looked at of his, he was still talking about the naked short thing, still claiming there were, all these synthetic shares, whatever. I found it kind of ironic that someone who calls himself a data scientist would use a scientific approach. I found it ironic that somebody who calls himself a data scientist would not use a scientific approach to the data, like have proof or be objective, go wherever the evidence leads, and not start with a conclusion and do anything you can cherry pick to support it. It's not really science. But incidentally, like that type of approach, objective, evidence-based, is the best way to invest and trade. And that's outlined in this book, Investment Psychology Explained, by Martin J. Pring. It talks about all this stuff. Good resource.
To put it simply, I want you guys to tell me in the comments. What do you guys think he's playing here? Because I have some theories of my own. In fact,
Let's hear him.
Tweet you. You know what? You tweet me, I'll tweet you at Andrew.
Oh, come on.
That is where I am on Instagram and Twitter. And that's where Adam Aaron is as well. So make sure to give the Silverback Ape a follow. Do it during a global
Silverback Ape who sold his shares already.
Has only been exacerbated.
I thought they called that paper hands. They call that paper hands, Andrew. Adam Aaron is a paper hands. Okay? I don't know. Somebody tell me how that's not true. How is Adam Aaron not paper hands at this point? All of the insiders are. But somehow he still gets to be called a silverback. So I sold my AMC shares. Can I still be called a silverback? Well, according to Tony DeNaro, once an ape, always an ape. That's that. I'm going to stop there.
By meteoric inflation and the economic fallout of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Well, in Aaron's own words, it's because, like the beginning of so many healthy relationships, he knows how to fix Hycroft. Hycroft is this bad boy. He's always picking at his ear during study hall, and yet Adam Aaron knows exactly.
What is he talking about?
The perfect boy. Our strategic investment.
Adam Aaron is gay? Is that what is he talking about? Seriously, what in the fuck is he talking
announced
about?
Today is the result of our having identified a company in an.
I like analogies, but they have to be relevant, and you have to like say it so that people know what you're talking about. You're talking about study hall or whatever.
Industry that appears to be just like AMC of a year ago, he said in a statement announcing the deal. It too has rock solid assets, but for a variety of reasons, it has been facing a severe and immediate liquidity issue. Its share price has been knocked low as a result. You guys know that we've talked about gold and silver before on this show, specifically amazing, crazy rises that we have then been able to provide you guys early in advance. So Adam Aaron seems like he's jumping on the exact same boat. By infusing Hycroft with cash, Aaron is potentially getting on the ground floor of a new meme stock by throwing a...
But we read about Wyckoff Mining and the issues they're facing is seemingly has nothing to do with the price of gold. Like, that's not really the issue or whatever. It said that it was having problems getting the chemicals for processing and other supplies. So that's inflation and supply chain stuff. And so, I don't know. But you have to talk about how the price of gold is volatile, and you provided us with that information ahead of time because the algorithm said
few million, and what are essentially options contracts on a play that could pay off it works. Because Aaron's essentially pitching himself as something of a meme lord for hire on this investment. AMC
Jesus
Entertainment
Christ.
has had enormous success and demonstrated expertise in guiding a company with otherwise valuable assets through a time of severe liquidity challenge, the raising of capital and strengthening of balance sheets, as well as communicating with individual retail investors, reads his statement. It is all that experience and skill that we bring to the table to assist the talented mining professionals at Highcroft. And like AMC at the height of the pandemic, Highcroft could use the help. It had a recent brush with bankruptcy, was only brought back onto the public markets via a SPAC merger in 2020. Sure seems like we're paying it forward or paying it all the way to the back because, like Adam Aaron says, this is identifying where the opportunities are, because AMC is still looking like it's at 1,000% up from where it was just the same time, roughly.
Yeah, so the thing with that again, and this is the same article, so, I didn't know he was going to look at the same damn article, but there's literally all these articles about it right here, but they all pick the same one. Yahoo. I mean, yeah. Will he mention Mudrick? Will he? Don't know. But anyway, about the AMC Wyckoff thing, comparing it to, points in the pandemic. Again, I went over this earlier, but, just to be thorough. So there's AMC. We'll do it reverse this time, so it'll be different. It's not the same. Oops. Here's Wyckoff. So here's the pandemic. Here. Here's March 2020. And this is weekly candles. There it is. And then it had, so Wyckoff is the mining company is the orange line this time. So it was literally, and it's this left scale here, so it was like hit a high of, like 15 something. So it was in the double digits. It was above 10, up and down. And then there's some earnings that happened in here, and then it just started, sliding down. So during the pandemic, this stock was at above 10 a lot, and it, was at least above 5 when AMC was down in the single digits. And then you had the meme stock craze happen in 2021. Here's GameStop, here's AMC, squeezes, and the mining company bled out. Like, it didn't really enjoy any of the benefits of the meme stock squeezes. Really. So it's just ironic to me that it says that, that what the mining company now is facing what AMC was facing during the pandemic. Even though during the pandemic, Wyckoff was doing better, relatively, like a lot better, and AMC was doing shitty, and then now the roles are reversed. It's role reversal.
Around a year and a half ago. Like we saw recently with GameStop, chairman, activist, investor,
Here's
meme guru,
Ryan
Cohen's move
comparison.
on Bed Bath & Beyond, meme stock mojo is rather fungible. So Aaron's pitch to bring AMC Apes to Highcroft's yard might even be viable. He has some very dedicated investors, allowed Wedbush analyst Alicia Reese, who covers AMC. They might follow him into a penny stock. Reese and others made it clear on Tuesday that the Highcroft investment has nothing to do with AMC's core cinema business, which has only improved as COVID mandates disappear and the summer blockbuster season returns.
So that right there, like, that's, kind of a key thing. That investment has nothing to do with AMC's core cinema business.
But it's also the case that Highcroft investment has nothing to do with AMC's core business, even remotely, making the whole investment appear almost bizarre. outside of the popcorn box. To put it bluntly, the capex realities of the gold mining industry and the crazy commodities prices these days makes it easier to compare Jim Cramer to Pete Davidson than movie theaters to mining. Wow.
Okay.
That was a sandwich of a sentence. Or as Aaron put it on Tuesday, to state the obvious, one would not normally think of a movie company that is now literally in a gold mine. Well, it could just be a message straight to the apes themselves. A gold mine.
Yes,
and
it could be.
Luckily,
It
we're
could
playing
be.
gold.
Right. You're right.
Diamonds would have been funny, would have been a good meme, but honestly, there's a lot of ethical issues and a lot of different considerations when you're thinking about those specific mines. So we got to make sure that we're on the right side. Gold prices often act as an unofficial barometer of global unrest, which is why the 6-month chart of gold futures look like something you would rather surf on than invest in, which would be likely only get choppier as commodities traders start to reckon with the Fed poised to hike interest rates this week, while Putin's forces simultaneously shell Ukrainian civilians on live television.
So, I just lost my train of thought. What did he say before? I had something and then I lost it. Whatever.
Prices often act as an unofficial barometer of global unrest.
I remember. It's when he was talking about diamond mines. What about why hasn't anybody made the connection between say like Elon Musk and emerald mines, right? Because his father, emerald business, South Africa. I mean, maybe Elon Musk could come in and, give him some of that emerald money. I don't know. Anyway, he said diamond mines. Okay. Is there anything else in here? Come on. No, just read an article and...
That seems to have been part of the pitch by metals investor Eric Sprott, who is partnering with AMC on the investment. One analyst covering the stock sees AMC's cash infusion as only a start to get Hycroft back in the game. The capital infusion gives Hycroft the time and capital to complete the studies required to re-engineer
so out of left
mine.
field.
Brian Cast of BMO Capital Markets wrote in a note on Tuesday.
If you don't consider the Mudrick connection, but when you consider the Mudrick connection, then... Yeah.
But is unlikely to make a significant contribution to the capital required to re-enter full-scale production. If Aaron can create a wave of ape financing with his Twitter account and meme clout, Hycroft might be able to get a production scale up more likely and might provide AMC
quid pro quo.
Ooh, baby. Well, the questions are already doing more lingering as to why Aaron went so...
Why did he have that reaction? Like, basically what he's saying is, if Adam Aaron can convince the apes to buy Wyckoff stock, a wave of ape financing for Hycroft, and might provide AMC with some upside. Might. Well, it would, yeah, it's so bizarre. And then these reactions from these influencers is also, these reactions are also bizarre. Like,
so far afield on this investment because
no business sense here.
One big thing about protecting your downside on an investment like this is knowing where the problems are in the first place. That's something that Aaron might not be able to do with mining, but should not lose sight of with AMC. How about paying back debt? So here's a Longbow and asset management person who owns stock in 2021. How about paying back debt, buying back stock, reinstituting the dividend that was eliminated during the COVID crisis, make an acquisition in the entertainment space to produce exclusive higher margin content for the non-mining movie screens, or even throwing some serious cash in the at-home streaming space to truly diversify the business, which is fair. Some people have a very fundamental approach to how they face the markets. So we want to ask you,
not in a short squeeze.
What exactly is the play here? What exactly is the future of investing during this very tumultuous time? And especially since interest rates are getting that hike later this week, what exactly is going to happen to gas prices, to regular prices of your food, your groceries, and just being alive in the near future? All of these are coming to a very, very different place very, very soon. So let's bask in the 7% on AMC today and the 5.5% on GME and understand that this is far from over. Thank you guys
Far
for
from
watching all the way
over.
to the end. You guys are the real heroes
That's
here.
the
Make sure you guys want to be able to be
that's the
eligible for
scientific
giveaways and
analysis
stuff. So
right
check
there.
out the Twitter and
It's
Instagram.
far from
Follow
over.
us on each of those platforms. Make sure that you
Good
guys have
job.
already taken a look on Patreon, where I have my six-figure portfolio for you guys to peruse.
Six-figure
give to.
portfolio.
Thanks to those patrons, as well as people who have pressed that join button.
So he
and
needs
the
your
subscribe
Patreon
button.
money
And finally, thank you.
to bolster that six-figure portfolio. My goodness, my goodness. Lord for hire. I mean, that's cringy as fuck, but you know, when he got down to that part where, I mean, at least he did. TMI didn't get that far in the video. Where he was talking about wrangling ape financing. Ape financing. God. I mean, the apes need to realize how they're being used in this whole thing. Not only with this, but in terms of the insiders selling their shares, literally stripping themselves of ape status at the expense of the apes. The people who bought in at overvalued, inflated price levels, you know, and now that's millions of dollars of market cap that has been taken out by the silverback, by the other insiders. That alone should be a sign, but it's not. This wild, you know, seems like a Hail Mary type of thing. I mean, if only the Wyckoff stock was an OTC stock, that would just be the icing on the cake, right? If it was OTC, which, I mean, let's be honest, it's pretty damn close to being. What's the requirement? There's another stock that's, what was it? Well, I closed. Wasn't it? No, wasn't. Yeah, it was this one. I saw a notice on Fidelity, said that it was on notice about not meeting the requirements or whatever. Anyway, because we're on weekly, that's why it's so stretched out or so condensed. Anyway, or was it that one, or was it? It was one of them. Oh, no. Maybe it was TMC. TMC, the mining company. That interesting Canadian company. Yeah, it was this one. Sorry. It was this one. But, I mean, let's be honest. It's in the same price range. Is that the same, literally the same price levels as Wyckoff? Okay. Wyckoff. I don't know why he talks like Captain Kirk. Where's Short the VIX? Where's Short the VIX in all this? That'll be the last one. That'll be the last one. I mean it this time. My cat is like, it's past my dinner time. What are you doing? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? So that's live. I can't do that. It's too long. I love that picture there of like a oil derrick. That's what we think of when mines. And then here's a picture of, you know, an old-timey miner. Jesus. Harvard economist Harry Dent drops a huge dent on AMC stock. Apes have become a mad money account for hedge funds, brokers, tubers, and now AA. And don't forget, market makers, as in Citadel, $7 billion in revenue. Ken Griffin is worth $30 billion. $30 billion. Yes, Short the VIX has not put out a specific video about it. Too good to be true. Let's see what New York Angelo says. Okay? And then this will be the last one because I'm
Well, a
getting
lot of
hungry.
people didn't like the idea of Adam Aaron diversifying the business with the popcorn business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now Adam Aaron is flipping the coin. He's trying to diversify with the precious
flipping
metals.
the coin.
I hope now you guys are more...
He's taking a chance. He's trying. Heads, movie theater business. Tails, mining business. We'll see, I mean, it is based in Nevada. Flipping the coin.
satisfied.
Nice.
But guess what? Do you know what's funny? Adam Aaron and AMC paid Nicole Kidman $25 million for the commercial. And now they just announced that they are going to pay $28 million to this mining company to acquire a stake in it.
What kind of stake? What is it with these guys in these intros?
Squeeze. Well, I don't think so. It might actually... Question, is this actually going to help the squeeze? Well, I don't think so. It might actually weaken the short thesis from the short sellers, but as we all know, they don't play by the rules. What does it mean?
No.
Even if the company is announced winner in the industry, winner for the year, beating quarter over quarter revenue, earnings per share, so on and so forth, acquiring other theaters, right? Even if Adam Aaron becomes the front page of Forbes for 2022, the shorts will keep shorting the company, printing, manipulating, and making the stock look bad. Let's see if you look at
If only all you had to do was short a stock and that was a money printer. Like, it's just such a fundamentally flawed view of the stock market, which is, that's why I say that these guys are actually harming retail investors beyond just this play, beyond just AMC, beyond whatever, the ape narrative, the ape investing habits, is creating, this conspiratorial, fundamentally flawed, misunderstanding, willful ignorance surrounding the way that things work. And it's putting the message out there that the reason that you're not making money is not because you're in one stock. It's not because this stock was affected by the pandemic. It's none of that. It's because hedge funds are shorting the stock. I mean, there's always short interest. There's never going to be a point when there's no short interest. There's short interest on Apple. There's short interest on, we know there's short interest on Tesla, Amazon, any stock. And the reality is that the way it's supposed to work, the stock market represents investor sentiment in the future. That what is going to happen, and how do we value that now today? That future growth will value it today, this price. And so that necessarily then means that it does not reflect the now in that sense. It reflects future expectations now. Future expectations now, not current reality now. That would have been priced in before. That would have been reflected in previous pricing and valuation. So, and it's something that I guess takes a little bit of time or experience or something to wrap your head around the fact that we're not looking at what people think the company is worth today. We're looking at what people think, where people think the company is going in the future today. So there's a lot of reasons why that outlook may not be as rosy as people want to think it is, or reflect, oh yeah, everything's great now. We're making more money now. We're, people are back in theaters now. But is that really enough? Is that enough to dig out of this? For example, what are the threats to the business? What are the current trends? What are the competitors doing? The competitive technologies, things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. Just kind of, well, what is one true fact, Model 3 dude? You're leaving me hanging here. You can't leave me hanging.
AMC as a fundamental play, yeah, things definitely look better. And I guess you wonder what is the dark pool data so far? 61.5%.
So what?
I mean, it's too early to say.
That's mostly retail. It's mostly retail investors using brokerages that route their orders to Citadel. I mean, can these guys ever be honest about that? Sit there and denigrate the off-exchange, quote-unquote, dark pool volume. Correlate the data. Correlate the data points. The whole time people have been complaining about off-exchange, dark pool, over the last year, is the same period of time when Citadel made $7 billion in retail trading, from retail trading. And anytime you see, most of the times you see over here on Reddit, for example, of course it's not gonna show anything now, but how many times do you see? Here's one. Oh no, that's TradingView. A lot of the times you see Webull. I mean, a lot. You see Webull a lot. One example of a payment for order flow brokerage. I don't know if they use Citadel or not, but that's off exchange. And EdgeX is not off exchange. Why are you saying that EdgeX is dark pool? That's the SIBO. Chicago Board Option Exchange. EdgeX is an exchange. So off exchange is that line, and it's all of the off exchange that is reported through FINRA. So why highlight and add EdgeX but not NASDAQ or SIBO BZX? It's just, we have to inflate these numbers. We have to inflate it. But the larger point being, and it doesn't even really matter. It doesn't matter that these orders are off exchange or that they're, quote, dark pool, because you're still, it's the same standard of execution. It's national best bid and offer or better. So trades are just, you don't see the order book. That's the part that's dark. That's the part that's dark. You don't see the order book. You don't see limit orders that are waiting to be filled. You don't see the orders, but orders are matched in the same manner. They're matched at the same price execution standard. And if you don't want, and this is the overarching thing, okay? If you don't want, for whatever reason, you don't want your orders to be executed off exchange, then don't use a brokerage that uses payment for order flow. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. You are the one who chooses which brokerage you use. So what is wrong with this picture when you have retail investors who are using payment for order flow brokerages and retail investors who are complaining about off-exchange execution? How does that does not compute? You are the one doing it, so stop doing it. Stop doing it. It's really as simple as that. But it also doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Because those trades get reported to the same consolidated tape. You see them. The prints are there. That's not hidden. That's not dark. What's dark is the order book. And that's just so, ultimately, at least for the institutional off-exchange venues, was to prevent, hey, Morgan Stanley is selling 500,000 shares at this price. Well, that actually protects investors that is not shown. Remember the flash crash of 2010? Essentially, that was caused by spoofing. See these large orders come in at a certain price in the book, and they get canceled. But before the orders are canceled, algorithms react to those. Retail investors, whoever, institutional, retail, react to those, and it drives the price up or down. And so by not having those large orders publicly visible, they'll still get executed at the price. So it's really a lot of misunderstanding. And it really goes back to, the basics of the stock market, order matching, bid and ask spread. But I can also understand when you have clowns like this hyping this stuff every day without really ever going into any detail. It's just, dark pool, that's bad. I can understand why people don't understand. But that's precisely why I'm here to talk about it, because it's important to know what these things actually are. If you're going to sit there and say, why would a stock hide 61% of their order book, your dumb ass? Joey, first of all, you don't have to go, name calling. But you do, though, because you don't know what you're talking about. Okay? Why would a stock hide 61% of their order book? You think AMC is sitting there saying, guys, we're going to go 61% dark pool today. What are you talking about? Retail investors have a choice of where they want to take their business. It's really that simple. It doesn't matter that your buy orders are going to the dark pool, because you've been told, apes have been told that dark pool, the dark, quote unquote, the dark pool, when things go, quote unquote, go to the dark pool, that it doesn't affect the price. And that's not true. Not true. So you think that because you are using Robinhood, let's say, buying 5 shares of AMC, they send the order to Citadel to execute, and that does not contribute to price momentum, because that's what the apes have been told by these charlatans. That ultimately must be what it is. they think that they're not contributing to the momentum on either side, right? So the reason your 5 shares order isn't contributing to the price momentum is because it's a 5 share order. It's literally $60 worth of stock. When you have millions of shares traded, tens of thousands of shares traded every minute, it's not very much. Yes, it's contributing to the aggregate number of buys or sells, but what it seems like is people are you know, I bought 10 shares today and the price went down. Well, can't expect to see that impact. I mean, you could buy 10,000 shares and not even see an impact because somebody is selling shares at the same time. And it's that aggregate number that ultimately would move the price up or down depending on what price level things are happening at. But, you know, the dark pool thing, it's one of the biggest grifts in this whole narrative. It really is. It's you know, it's just blown out of proportion. And 3 popular brokerages that don't use payment for order flow: Fidelity. Now they do, I believe, they don't accept payment for order flow, but they use Citadel or something like that. But you can route your order to whatever exchange you want, and they're not receiving payment for order flow on that. So Fidelity. Merrill Edge, I believe it's Bank of America owns that. They don't accept payment for order flow. And TD Ameritrade does, but you can also route your order on there. So, you know, I just said Fidelity. Why is that funny? Not really sure why that's funny. How does a stock keep dropping on such low volume if our orders are all hit exchange according to your dark pool thesis? How does a stock keep dropping? Joey, the stock keeps dropping because there are more sells than buys. This is basic, okay? Well, let's go over to Thinkorswim. Are you going to laugh at that too? Oh, this cluck just said Thinkorswim. I sound disparate? Really? I sound disparate. Disparate. You are an ape. You are an ape. So I'll cut you a break. Okay? But, you know, desperate? No, I'm not desperate. You sound desperate. You, my friend, sound desperate. I'm looking at volume, okay? I'm going to look at volume in a way that you've never looked at volume. Okay? Check it out. So, we're going to look at volume. Well, here's volume here, but we'll look at volume a different way. Look at volume with this indicator. Okay? We'll just look at the regular hours. Now, okay. How are we dropping on that low volume? Look, this indicator shows you buying and selling. Let me just get these other ones off here. Okay, so as you might be able to imagine, now see, and here's the thing. you need to just listen to me, okay? This is the problem with you guys. You just wanna say zoom out, 6 months, 1 year. Okay, I will, but you need to listen to what I'm saying, okay? Otherwise, I'm just going to not continue with this explanation because you're probably not interested anyway. But what you're showing me is that you're not listening to me. So why would I waste my time addressing your concern? Seriously, chill the fuck out, Joey. I mean, come on. So here, you see the price go down. And you see more selling than buying. Here, you see the price go up. More buying than selling. Right? And, okay, you want to go out. You want to zoom out. Okay, fine. We'll zoom out. We'll zoom out. I'll zoom out for you. Zoom out for an ape. Okay, here's this. Run up. Yep. More buying than selling. Now, this day, more selling than buying. This day, same thing. More buying than selling. Pretty self-explanatory. I don't see what the problem is. I don't see the problem. But, I mean, maybe you can tell me. What's the problem? You don't see, this low volume? Low volume indicates that retail investors aren't engaged in the stock, is what that traditionally would say. So really, in that sense, again, the responsibility or blame comes back to the apes themselves. If you want the stock to go up, you have to buy the stock. And when, on a day like today, the volume was 40 million, okay, that's a little higher than it has been. But on these days, like last Friday, volume 29 million, 25 million, 29 million, 30 million, you're not going to see what you want to see. In other words, what do you see on these days with the large volume bars? Big volume bars, big moves in price. In either direction. Small volume bars, small moves, smaller moves. More sells than buys, larger red. More buys than sells, larger green. So, and ultimately, beyond this, it depends on what price investors are selling or buying the shares at. So, that's the other component. The stock market's an auction, okay? The stock market's an auction, and there are buyers and sellers at this auction. And buyers are trying to get the lowest price they can buy it for. Sellers are trying to get the highest price that they can sell it for. And the stock market matches those. It's like if there was an auctioneer, and he's calling out the bids and offers and trying to match up buyers and sellers. Okay? So if someone comes to the auction today and says, you know what, I just want to get rid of it. I don't believe in this anymore. I just want to get rid of it. I don't like it. I want to get something else. They're probably willing to accept a lower price. Okay? So that just depends on who's there and how, and everything. So it's not, in other words, it's not a proportional thing. It's not a proportional thing. Oh, this candle, okay, here. Perfect example right here. This red candle, look at the size of that candle. Look at the amount of red here. So it's saying that that's, I don't know, 105 million? 105 million shares. Okay, look at the size of that candle. Come over here, look at the size of this green candle, and it's larger, but the volume is only 54 million. So that illustrates exactly what I'm talking about. Here you have more volume, and you have a smaller price decline. Here you have less volume, and you have a larger price increase. It's an auction. That's how auctions work. Depends on the participants that day, that session. The price doesn't go up 1 cent for every buy, in other words. Or it doesn't go down by 2 cents for every sell. It depends on the prices that people are willing to buy or sell at. Limit orders. So, this is what I mean when I talk about the basic fundamentals, not in terms of a stock, but market dynamics. The basics of how this stuff works. And the apes think they know how it works. They haven't taken the time to learn. When somebody actually tries to help them learn, this is, Joey has demonstrated perfectly the ape persona here, disrespectful. But I don't even care really, because it's about getting this information out. And I'm happy to talk about it, but it's just, this is typical. And now he's gone, probably, because you didn't like the answer. But, that's the reality of it. You've been lied to. You've been misled by these influencers. Sorry. Sorry. Not sorry.
Anything, we still have utilization.
But the dark pool, to bring it back around, dark pool volume, off exchange volume, if you want that to be lower, and it doesn't really matter if it is or not, it's probably only going to keep going up. Oh, and by the way, we can see, we can check it out, but I don't know. Here's 42%. Now, NASDAQ, like I said, I don't know what, I don't know why he is highlighting SIBO Edge X as off exchange, because that is an exchange. It is a stock exchange.
A lot of people didn't like the.
So that's just false. That's just incorrect, is what that is. Off exchange is off exchange. It's 47%. So here's Apple, and it's at 42%. Right? Oh, what about Tesla? 43%. What about Amazon? It's probably going to be lower. My guess is it's lower, but we'll see. Yeah, 39%. What about Ford? I actually don't know what the high volume stocks were at. 40%. What about HYMC? $59%. So what does that tell you? What that tells you is retail investors coming in, buying this stock because Adam Aaron basically enticed the apes to, and they're using their off-exchange brokerages. 59%. where is it? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I wish Joey were here to see this, but you know that pretty much says it all right there. Now, Hawk, I heard you're about to lose a bunch of money because of AMC. Who said that? No. Tony talking about me again? Really? I'm not gonna assume that he said something like that, but yeah, no. And even if I were, like, you know, that's the Apes have lost a lot of money on AMC, so really is kind of silly to be saying something like that. There's 59% on Wyckoff Mining. What's another one? GameStop. Percent. I mean, I've gone over all this stuff before, Joey. I mean, I've gone over all this stuff before. Short interest, you see shares returned every day. You see shares borrowed every day. They pretty much cancel each other out. You see very small moves in the amount of short interest. What does that mean? It means short positions are being closed and covered, and shares are being returned every day. Contrary to the shorts haven't covered narrative. Where is it? I just saw it a minute ago. But that's literally what Ortex says on their own site. Is this it? That's that one. Now it's all about in the AMC stock subreddit. Let's talk about the mining stock. Anyway, the data is delayed by 2 days. So there we go. And short interest alone, too, by the way, doesn't mean there's going to be a short squeeze. What would need to happen is there would need to be a reason why short positions would become unprofitable. And the thing that makes short positions unprofitable is the price rising, which comes back to the apes aren't buying the stock. So again, it's on you guys, really. Now, why so many FTD? Where's the FTD? Let's see here. I can look at it on here. Well, since I'm on GameStop, why don't we just look at GameStop first? You know, because you're going to say, well, there's not many FTDs on GameStop. By the way, you do know that these numbers are added. They're cumulative numbers. So each day, you know, so like this day here, January 14th, well, we can just look at it down here, I guess. So it says right here, fails to deliver on a given day are a cumulative total of all fails outstanding until that day, plus new fails that occur that day, less fails that settle that day. So in other words, what that means is when you see this number go up from 25 to 3604, that means that 3579 were added. So you can't add these numbers together, in other words. These tell you how many failed to delivers are outstanding on each day. So, in other words, 25 goes up to 36, it goes up to 19,000, and then it goes down to 1638. So this minus 17,951, those are failed to deliver obligations that were fulfilled. Now, popular YouTubers like Rico has added these numbers up, these right here. And when in reality, you would have to add and subtract this FTD change number. So you can see right there how that changes everything. Add 117,000, but then subtract 128,000. And that's not what they did. So that's just ignorant, really. So, but to answer your question as to why so many FTDs, that's just a function of the market. When you have high demand on a stock, the obligations are fulfilled. That's what you see here. That's the more important thing. These numbers here, these minus numbers, minus 211, that means that from this day, the 23rd to the 24th, 211,892 FTD obligations were fulfilled. That's why this number goes down from 227,000 to 15,000. The difference is 211,000. Okay. These numbers here, this failed to deliver column is cumulative. So the SEC reports a number every day. The number that they report includes new ones that get added to it, and old ones that get covered get subtracted. So they're telling you on the 28th there were a total of outstanding FTDs of 29,000. The day before there were only 28,000. The day before that there were only 15,000. The day before that, there were 227,000 on that day total. But you can't add these numbers together. And that's what, it is incorrect to add these numbers together and come up and claim that there's 6 billion synthetic shares. That's just nonsense. I can't believe that Rico would, I can, but how disingenuous is that? It says right here, you can go to the SEC website. It tells you how to interpret the data. Fintel says the same thing. They all say the same thing. Doesn't matter where you get the data from. It's a cumulative number. And now, this FTD change, that number is not reported by the SEC. So what this website does is they just subtract it. They net it for you, so you can see. Okay, on this day, 1,100 were added. On this day, 13,000 were added. On this day, 211,000 were covered. So, it's pretty simple, pretty basic. But AMC, okay, so anyway, these numbers, there's several in the hundreds of thousands for GameStop. And here you go to a stock that has how many? Less than 1/5. So AMC has more than 5 times the float, or GameStop has 1/5 of the float of AMC. So you're going to say, these numbers are way higher, these numbers are way higher. Well, there are more shares. The trading volume is higher. The average trading volume on a GameStop is 2.84 million. On AMC, it's like around 30, I think. Oh, 46. So, anything could be claimed to be a conspiracy, but it's just, it's just kind of silly at this point, to compare those types of numbers and then add them up and say, oh yeah, look, there's 10 million just this week. No. Nope. So, but see, FTD change 260 plus 262 minus 420 plus 447 minus 229. So you can see here every day the number changes, but the number goes down. So that represents these being covered. And that notional amount right there is tied to the cumulative number. So multiply these and you get that. Anything else, Joey? I mean, I don't expect you to change what you think, but I have no agenda other than really correcting these guys, trying to hold them accountable in some way. Cboe Edge X is an exchange. That's not off exchange, Angelo. So that's incorrect. That's what I'm here for. But you know, I think people know when it's hard to fool yourself when you know that you're wrong about something. And it's not even about who's right or wrong. It's about the information. It's about the truth being put out. And, you know, if anything, all of these influencers have join buttons. They have, you know, Moo referral codes. There's a payment for order flow app. You know, all these channels. Every way for them to get your money. I don't have any of that stuff. Because I'm not trying to grift the apes. I'm not trying to scam them or get them to give me their money or get them to buy a stock. Just literally want to fact check them. So,
I mean, it's too early to say anything, but I guess looking at the chart, all these numbers doesn't make any sense, right? So let me tell you something that actually...
Well, we just kind of like disproved that whole thing right there. Because we looked at the volume, we looked at the buy-sell volume and correlated it. We corrected him on the off exchange. We went through quote-unquote dark pool and how it is really pretty much the same as on exchange, except for a non-displayed order book. And we corrected his incorrect Cboe Edge X not being off exchange. So I think it makes sense personally, but that's just because I care about the truth. I care about that kind of stuff. But it's, you know, it's more lucrative for these guys to sit there and say it doesn't make sense. You're being, you know, they're stealing from you. They stole the buy button, blah, blah, blah.
It makes sense. Remember yesterday in my video I said that there was a major sell-off on the Chinese market during the day. And this is what actually happened in numbers. China's riches dropped $53 billion in a day as stocks plunged. Some people said this is coming from the new variant that was discovered in China for the lockdowns. Currently they are under lockdown, some of the areas in China. Other people are saying that, you know, the US stock market is planning to start delisting some of these Chinese stocks here. So this is again
AMC is not a Chinese
Remember what
stock.
happened with Didi, right? To be clear, guys, we're talking about big tech companies. We're not talking about some random companies nobody heard of, right? This means that most likely some of the hedge funds here own a major stake. I'm trying to figure it out who lost the most
Speculation.
here on the
Cool.
institutional level holding Didi when Didi was pronounced almost dead. Seems like, guys, wherever I look, I see losses for these guys,
Pronounced
for the
almost
institutional
dead.
investors. I look to Russian assets and investments, everything is down, or delisted or suspended for trading or not accepted as a collateral. I look to China major sell-offs for a variety of reasons. I look here in the US stock markets, things are going down since the beginning of January. crypto is going down. Overall performance of the gold, I don't want to speculate or advocate or lobby
you don't want to
about
speculate.
the gold, but
Okay.
gold looks much
Right.
more stable right now. A lot of people hate on gold, but seems like the Bitcoin is not stable. Seems like are experiencing a
God, these
cold,
fucking
late
edits.
cold winter for the crypto market as well. And what I said yesterday ends up being true today as well. I can stay here with my losses within different portfolios and do absolutely nothing, right? But these guys, hedge funds, couldn't do that. They have to work to offset the losses. And don't get me wrong, the smart of
Okay.
them knew that this is coming. Remember December, majority of them impose new restrictions for redemptions. Majority of them impose new fees if you want to withdraw more money than you usually allowed to, right? And there is a penalties, there is this, there is
How
that.
does this have anything to do with
They
the
put,
AMC
like multiple
stock?
different barriers for you to exit.
Too good
Red
to be true.
was one of my favorite covers before starting trading stocks. So I guess I have to change the cover or I have to change my investment strategy. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Like
Yeah.
this video. And of course, come back for more.
So, yeah, I mean, just let me show you a bunch of things that don't correlate together and misrepresent most of them. And, you know, further this institutional investor versus retail investor myth of narrative. And end by talking about my favorite color. Yep. So, anyway, seems like everybody left anyway. Joey left. Joey actually left this time. Yeah? Don't know. But, you know, I welcome the apes here. But, you know, they need to, you know, they need to be able to discern an argument. They need to have the discernment to know, you know what? Have the courage to admit you are wrong. Let's say it that way. Reserve the right to be wrong. It's a good way to be, because nobody's ever right all the time. But that's the beauty of, we were talking about data science. That's the beauty of the scientific method. It's been said that the scientific method is the greatest contribution to knowledge and the advancement of human society and our species, because it allows us to make a prediction and test it and measure and then revise what we thought. And that's that's what the apes are missing, is that ability. And really, it makes sense if you think about it. It's a human thing. It's not something that primates can do. It's not something that people who intentionally are adopting a moniker, a nickname, you know, reducing their capacity. Matt Kors always says that he's proud to be dumb money. I think that's foolish, because, you know, you may not be dumb. I don't think that most individuals are. But when you tell yourself, this is repeated, or apes, all I know how to do is buy and hold. Well, that's not true. That's not all you know how to do. And in reality, you need to be able to do more than that. Than if you're going to be involved in this, it's just, you know. The point of the stock market is to make money for investors. So if you're not doing that, there might be something wrong. So you can look at what you're doing and look at what you're doing it with, and the information that you're doing it based on. and try to figure out like what's the disconnect here. Is the whole thing literally a fraudulent, criminal enterprise? Is it like the mafia? Is it like corrupt to the core? Is there really no correlation or connection between the numbers and what what seems to be happening? And if you really dig in, I think it all kind of fits together, right, in a way that makes sense. It's irrational sometimes, yes. We don't understand it mostly, yes, because there are more people involved than just you. People with a lot more money. So all you can do is try to figure out what's going on, show it with evidence, have something to back it up, put your money where your mouth is, and try to make money with the momentum that's there. So instead of fighting Wall Street, you kind of have to go with Wall Street. That's the point. So see it going down, you go that way. See it going up, you go that way. Take the emotion out of it. Make it evidence-based. Make it evidence-based. And with that, have a good evening.